me cater to you. Let me cater to you. Let me cater to you. I wanna let you know, girl, that you know that I am what you do. So let me reassure you, my love will be purpose without you. If I want it, I'm gonna ask you. Flying to be built, challenge me for the better for you. Let me cater to you.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Yes, welcome back to Make It Make Sense, honey. And one of my family members wanted me to speak on this situation, this topic of conversation we're gonna have tonight. Yes, and it's brought to us by the Neighborhood Talk. They are over there doing the whole thing, blazing the YouTube streets with these two comical people. All right, and I'm like, Ray J, haven't you heard of getting your money up front, son? Getting your money up front. You too old in the game. You done hung with too many celebrities bigger than Kim Kardashian. Remember, you was messing with Whitney Houston and all that thing, but that's for another video, okay? All right, I don't know how you got suckered into conspiring allegedly with Kim and her mom and presenting us with a false narrative of from what you say, a tape that never was leaked by you and probably never made. I don't know. Maybe it was made. Maybe it was just made for fun for you and her to go back and look at. But you should have deleted the shit right after. I don't know why men and women love to go taping themselves, being intertwined with one another, and think it's so nice to see them looking at themselves again once they have completed doing the do that they did do. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, if it was a plan of action, Kim, Ray J, you should have got your money up front, Ray J. You should have got your money up front, because it don't seem like your career went nowhere and hers went skyrocketing to the moon and beyond. I don't see how that could happen, but stranger things have happened in this world that has no explanation. It just is what it is. Now, family, I want to come to you. You tell me what y'all think about this situation. So Ray J just sit his ass down somewhere and just take his losses for what it is? Or does he have a point? Should he go on and sue the Kardashian family? Mainly Chris for being the spearhead, allegedly, of the whole plan of action, the plan that was going to make them millions and this, that, and the third. I don't know, because I knew at one time, if I'm not mistakenly, Kim Kardashian was Paris Hilton's assistant. Okay, she was just a little girl looking average, this, that, and the third. No specialness really about her. No, like I said, stardom, I guess I should say. Until this sex tape got heated up and she became the belle of the ball. All right, don't know how that happens, but hey, we're living in society, and yes, it did happen. She came from mediocre style of living, even though I think her dad was Rob Kardashian, I think, not really sure, but he represented OJ Simpson, in a highly profiled case and whatever. But anyway, got off tangent again. They were supposed to have made a sex tape. It went viral, and we still haven't really seen or viewed the sex tape. Though he said one was out there, he gave the contents of the material to Kanye, and Kanye gave it to Kim, allegedly for a present. A wedding present, birthday present. I'm not really sure, but I'm just trying to figure out. Woo! Yep, they need Jesus, and they need a little bit more, because we don't know what God they do serve. Okay, so I'm like, Ray J, I don't know, you're doing too much, a little bit too late in the game. And you were saying Kim on her show, the Kardashians, are using this sex tape again to excuse me, drum up more press around, I don't know, a new season coming with them, or they starting a new show, showcasing the Kardashian name or whatnot. I don't know, because like I said, I never really heard of you before until your dad was representing OJ Simpson way back in the day, and you were one of his kids. Everyday, ordinary looking person. And at the time, I believe Paris was just coming into her coming out to letting us know who she was. Because I think her and, what's his name? Lionel Richie's daughter. Can't think of her name at this time. They were having a show. And they were really coming up. And then they were being seen everywhere. On TV, in the news, in the blogs or whatever. And then they just went quiet. You know what I'm saying? It was their time to shine. They had so many years being out in the press, people talking about them, and then we heard no more. And then Kim started coming up on this rise of the sex tape or something to that degree. But neighborhood talk put something out regarding the sex tape. They titled it, "Oop, Ray J slams Kim Kardashian and says he felt suicidal watching her and Kris Jenner build an empire from a lie she created. I never leaked the tape, and a second one does exist." And I'm like, is it a tape? Is it not a tape? It's a tit for tat. Yes, it is. Could you be mad because you're saying off the sweat and tears of this fictitious drumming up of a sex tape, you didn't fare well in the deal, and they fared, what do you call it? They got wealthy off this idea of a sex tape, and Kim's mom knew how to cultivate it and make it into a multi-billion-dollar franchise for themselves, and now you're down on your luck and you're needing money and this, that, and the third, so you're gonna cry foul. Ray J. That's kind of piss poor. Oh, and all the spoiled apples that go with it. And he also says she admitted jokingly about him in recent Kardashian episodes. Okay, so we got we got Ray J over there peeping through the windows and being on the sideline trying to figure out what the Kardashians are saying and doing on their taped show. But Ray J is feeling some kind of way. He feels that Kim is making him seem like the villain in the situation, and he's putting salt on his name, and it's almost like defamation of character. He's saying he got kids that's gonna look at this, that, and the third. He talking about he was suicidal. And I'm like, okay. It seems like everybody pulling out that suicide card, like just because they're in this situation that somewhat they got themselves into, but they don't like the heat, so they're trying to get out the kitchen, in a sense of saying, and they want to be seen as the victim now. And I'm like, did you get anything out of this when the story was hot off the press? Did you elevate in some kind of way from the press? I think you did, but it just wasn't as big as what Kim and her family went about and made it into $1 billion business. Okay. But yeah, now they talking about a second tape is supposed to be out there. I'm like, shouldn't it be a first tape first? And you saying it wasn't a first tape, Ray J? We're trying to make it make sense over here. We're trying to have a conversation. Because right now, it all seems kind of murky. We're in murky water. We're in unfamiliar territory. And we're just trying to make some sense out of this shit that you got us up here listening to. All right. And one of my family members wanted me to cover this, so I'm bringing it to the table. I'm sitting up here trying to analyze it. But I could really give a shit about Ray J hollering about Kim Kardashian and what they're doing over there at their house. I'm like, if they eating steak and you eating ramen noodles, you should be hitting your own self upside your head, because you should have got it all in writing. Nothing should have been verbal, and you should have been getting paid monthly as they rose, you will rise too. Everybody rising like cream in their coffee to the top. All right, but it seems like you didn't negotiate real well. And who was with y'all besides you and Kim and her mom? I just want to know. And Kim, you should tell your children that you were a hoe at the time. You were a hoe and you don't want them to be a hoe. And that's why you built this, helped build this franchise so they could do better. They could do much better than what you did. Because you know, your daddy was a lawyer and he used to represent highly profiled people. But again, that was his money, not your money. And I'm pretty sure he wanted you to go to college and this, that, and the third. But you kind of threw that to the wayside. And somehow you got, you're studying for a bar licensing. I don't know if I would trust you to represent my dog. Okay. But it just is what it is. That's just my familiarity with how I see you go and conduct yourself in the public eye, and how the Kardashians just run through black men like it ain't nobody's business. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just run through black men, dehumanize them, take their whole essence and throw them away. So no, I don't have anything good to say about you because you haven't shown me anything in the public eye worth even thinking about you in a positive light. But okay, we're gonna go back to the neighborhood talk. They said Kim is saying, well, Ray J is saying, he also insists he never did any of the things she claims he did in the Kardashians' new Hula show, and was outraged by her suggestions he might have had a video showing him sticking a dildo in her behind, which he says made him sound like a rapist and was untrue. Now, if she did say that, Ray J, yeah, that's kind of pushing it. That's trying to look like messing with your character there, because we know when you with somebody, they want to be with you, and it's consensual sex. And however everything gets down is however you all were going along through the night or the day or whatever y'all were doing when y'all were doing it, okay? But whatever y'all were doing for our sex toys or being instrumental or experimental with different techniques and different positions, that's between you and her and the Lord, okay? Not us. We didn't have to be brought into this, but you're bringing it to the forefront, and we feel like we need to have a conversation about it because we're trying to make it make sense. Hence the channel, the name of the channel. We're trying to make it make sense, and you're still coming up -1, or I should say -0. But going back to the article, says, and in a private text message to Ray J seen below, Kim admits, if you're upset about the dildo comment, it was clearly a sarcastic joke, and I was laughing when I said it. I'm like, ooh, girl. So Ray J's kind of upset, and he's pretty much here or there. Allegedly is thinking about suing her in a sense, with regard to defamation of character and this, that, and the third. But we're going to read a little bit what the neighborhood talk staff member wrote up. And it goes a little bit like this, okay? It says, neighbors, Ray J is finally breaking his silence on Kim Kardashian. In an exclusive interview with Daily Mail, Ray J says Kim is lying about him leaking their original sex tape and threatening to release a second. I sat in the shadows, allowing the Kardashians to use my name, abuse my name, make billions of dollars talking about a topic I've never really spoken about, he explained. I never leaked anything. I have never leaked a sex tape in my life. It has never been a leak. It's always been a deal and a partnership between Kris Jenner and Kim and me, and we've always been partners since the beginning of this thing. I said, well, damn, you still getting the end of the stick, Ray J. If they blowing up with billions, you should be in the gazillions, because you are already known. You on sitcom shows with your sister Brandy, so you know you were known before she was known. Now, how did she get ahead of you, son? How did she get ahead of you? You should be slapping yourself, your own self upside the head, trying to figure that one out. But you bringing it to us, the public, so you can get our opinion and the whole case be tried in the public, and we're the jurors. I don't think so. But anyway, going back to the article, it says, while Kim denies a second tape exists, Ray J says there's definitely is a second tape, and she's the one who has it. She kept them all. She had to go find that tape, sex tape, Cabo #1, and then presented. I never had a tape in my possession in our whole relationship, he continued. I never had a single one at my house. She had them at her house. She's always had all the tapes in a Nike shoebox under her bed. I'm sure she has bigger beds now and better boxes. He went on to say the whole thing made him feel suicidal. I felt suicidal because when you know something's real and it's true, and you're watching a whole family create an empire from a lie that they've created, it's heartbreaking and disrespectful to all the entertainers who have been honest and true to their craft. And I'm like, nigga, it sounds like you a jealous hearted, not thinking further on into the situation of the contractual agreement that y'all all three signed y'all names to implementing out. That's what it seems like to me, Ray J. Now you want to call a file and flag on plays. No, they just outwitted your behind. That's all it is. They outwitted you. Game over. Okay? They were playing chess while you were playing Uno. Alright? Totally different. Totally different games that y'all were playing. You should have known that when she started getting contracts or being more visible on the TV screens and out there in social media. You should have been looking at that. But like you said, but then again, I heard somewhere down the road that you gave all the information to Kanye on a computer. So I'm like, make it make sense. Which one is which? I don't know. And when you get in court, it's whoever tells the best believing story. None of it has to be true. If you present your case, you could sell the jurors on a lie, and they will be hooked to it. Hook, line, and sinker. Okay? Just whoever telling the best case, who's presenting the best case, and all of it could be fictional. Okay, not known fact, not now facts up in there, but they played such a good story, and you were just lullabied by the evidence. You just gave in and said, nah, I believe this right here. And so now that's why they're winning and you're losing. So don't get mad. Just be better at the game. Be better at playing the game. But that's pretty much all I have for this video, guys. We just cite Ray J as being stupid, dumb, and don't know how to negotiate deals. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this whole situation with Ray J saying, he been taken advantage of, and they making him feel all suicidal, and he just feel bad about everything. I'm like, welcome to the real world. You win some battles, you lose some battles, but either or, you should learn from the experience. And that's all I got, y'all. I'll see y'all next video. Bye-bye.